Hey, good morning and happy Monday. I hope you had a great weekend. I hope you are staying clear of all of the fires. A lot of our first responders are sort of in harm's way, trying to maintain and contain, maybe a better word, all of the fires that are around. I hope you are safe and your property safe. Follow orders and move where they tell you to move. Because those things can react really quickly. For us, we have considered that. We're trying a murder case in Georgetown, and we're trying one in Horry. And as always, we don't want to get into the facts of them today, but we will next week. Again, for better or worse, we will tell you exactly what took place in both cases. I thought, though, about while we're gearing up to tell you that, like all weekend, all last week, and the weeks going into it, there have been hours of work that goes into building this case. And our prosecutors that do that, they really do an outstanding job. It's got to be for a love of doing justice and trying to help people and bring some amount of justice to a family. Not always successful, but we are more than we're not. But what will happen today, and it happens every day, I'm not Nostradamus, it happens every time we put together a case, is the jury will come in. There will probably be enough jurors. One of the things that popped up that's a little bit different about this week is with people being relocated with the fires, especially around Carolina Forest and the Waccamaw Neck area, that may hurt jury duty. But for the most part, we are generally able to get a jury. The judge will come in at about 9:30, meet with everybody, get a preview of what's going on. Now, another little myth is that judges know about these cases. They really don't. They learn about it about 5 minutes before they go down and start jury duty, or they go down and start going through the jury to see who is qualified, who needs to be exempt, who needs to be deferred to another week. All of that, the judge will go down about 9:30 or 10. Everybody will have checked in. Then the judge will ask these series of questions, and that'll take till about 11:30. A couple of hours, what other parts of the country call for dire, a Latin term basically meaning to question. So the judge will do all of the voir dire or voir dire, depending on what part of the country you're in. But they will go through and ask these questions, find out where the juror works, where their wife or husband works, and then they will, or if they're not married, all of those things, how far they live from the courthouse, to try to ascertain how much the payment's going to be to each juror. They ask all of those questions. It takes a couple of hours. At the end of that, a group of 40 or 50 will come back, and then the other several hundred will be given a number to call back. So as they're doing that, and they're doing that right now, they're trying to get a group where we can pull 12 jurors, called a petit jury, and then 2 alternates to go through the week. So about 14 people. All of this is to find a jury of your peers. And the defense gets 2 strikes for every 1 strike that the state gets. So the defense will get 10 strikes, the state will get 5 strikes. It's not fair, but it is what it is. Plus the state has to go first in using their strikes. But that is, it's something, it's not new, it's something we've always had to deal with. At the end of the day, we'll get a jury. a petit jury, a 12-person jury, and 2 alternatives. Then we'll begin this thing of trying to get the case continued. And it happens all the time. Again, it's to put it down the road. Most of the time, we have been a lot more successful. And I put that to the crying wolf doctrine, that, Peter cried wolf. The judge hears it over and over and over, and after a couple of years, they start saying, boy, that's something we hear all the time. There's always a good reason not to go today. And sometimes, with very good defense attorneys, they say, well, this hasn't been turned over to me until a month ago. This wasn't turned over to me until a week ago. If it were a situation where the state was sitting on that stuff, I would be pulling my hair out and putting people on leave for a week or so with no pay. But it's something that Jimmy can't control. A lot of times something may be in a file somewhere at a police station. We've asked for it a dozen times. We've been told it doesn't exist, and then it pops up at the last minute. That's discovery. It could be something that is really and truly not important to the case, but the defense attorney is going to make an effort to say it's important so that they can get it continued. We have been, not every time, but some high-profile cases have gotten continued. But for the most part, the judges have seen through that lately, and we've gone ahead with those trials. When it doesn't happen, all of that work that we started off by talking about, maybe it's not completely wasted, because we have learned some stuff that we can use for the new case. But all of the people that are here under subpoena, all the people that have delayed a vacation, everybody that is here for this thing is then told to turn around and go back. So we probably fight very hard to keep something from being continued, because there's at least 50 or 60 hours of work that's come into that. And I'll leave you with this example. Suppose the Cowboys have practiced all week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, walkthroughs on Saturday, for a game on Sunday against the Cardinals. And all the Cardinals have got to do is say, hey, we are not ready. The Cowboys didn't tell us this, they didn't tell us that. We need to put this off until next week. And then you go to all of the fans that have crowded the stadium, you go to all of the vendors, you go to everybody else and says, hey, no problem, we'll see you in about a month. Because we can't do it next week. There's another game scheduled then. And they're going to be asking for a continuance also. That's sort of what we deal with every Monday. And yes, it's frustrating, but it's a part of the process. And it keeps us sharp to go and say, please, if there is anything that's in your file that hasn't been turned over, even if you think that it's not important, it will be at the last minute. So I haven't been there. This is filmed first thing in the morning, but somehow, because of past experience, I can tell you that's what's going on in both courtrooms, in Georgetown and in Horry. And were places I'm not as concerned with, but in Sumter and in Greenville and in every court place that they've stacked 2 bricks together and called a courthouse, that's what's going on Monday morning. So I hope you're safe. I hope you stay safe throughout the weekend. I pray that we get these fires contained and out, and without any loss of life, and even better if we could do it without any property loss. But those guys are pulled, first responders are pulled in those directions, and that may be somewhat of a problem today that we really can't do anything about. I'll come back next week and give you an update on what took place in Georgetown and in Horry.